There are credible reasons to believe that agents of the government of India were involved in the killing of a Canadian on Canadian soil. And we call upon the government of India to engage with us to move forward on getting to the truth of this matter.
The larger issues of terrorism, and not just terrorism, but also the fact that it is being funded and supported, and we know this for some time from our western neighbor Pakistan. But the issue of safe havens and places to operate is being provided abroad, including in Canada.
Back on with this question, ladies and gentlemen, from credible allegations to credible reasons, is Justin Trudeau's credibility really credible? Now, top government sources are revealing how the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval at several instances, including the G20 summit, actually asked Canada to cooperate with India. NSA Doval and his counterpart always discussed issues of both nations, especially terrorism, many times. The NSA gave a list of wanted and also a list of letter rogatories from various agencies and state police to his Canadian counterpart. NSA Doval very clearly and categorically told his counterpart about the troublemakers and terrorists operating from Canada on Canadian soil, and also shared intelligence and intercepts time to time, including locations of these people. On the other hand, his Canadian counterpart also raised issues of Indian involvement, but NSA Ajit Doval asked the Canadian NSA for evidences and FIRs of the charges made. Sources say that there was assurance given by Bharat that if the perpetrators are from India and they are in India, it's a matter of deep concern for us and action will be taken. But the Canadian NSA never came back with any evidence on the claims and blames. India has said that it's ready to investigate Canada's charges if credible inputs are given, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, intel sources also reveal an alleged Pakistani nexus or link to Justin Trudeau. Trudeau allegedly is receiving funds from a very dubious source, a Canadian of Pakistani origin. Funds are reportedly received through fraudulent means because this money itself is coming from dubious methods and means. Trudeau is accused of favoring a particular nation or people coming from a particular nation. People with suspicious backgrounds are being favored and even being given seats and political favors. So the Indo-Canadians there are feeling that there is a lot of bonhomie or a lot of special attention that's given to Canadians from Pakistan, and these people have nefarious connections, and the funds that are coming in, which are being politically fed into the Liberals, are also dubious. Former Ambassador Rajiv Dograji is with us. Ramneek Maan, activist, and Wyatt Klepu, senior correspondent for Nat Telegraph, is also with us. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Good evening. Namaste. Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, credible allegations, credible reasons. Now, how much of credibility do these words have?
Well, within Canada, his credibility is sinking because the latest poll suggests he has only 31% approval rating. Within Canada, people are now beginning to doubt whether his statement in the parliament had any basis at all, because he has not come up with any evidence which he says or alleges, to use his term, that he's shared with his allies in America, UK, France, Australia and other countries. US is the only one which has come up repeatedly to support him, but that is out of being partners in crime, because US and Canada have been associated in sponsoring, supporting and financing Khalitani terrorists. So it's not a surprise that US feels obliged to favor a partner like this. But the larger question is the revelations that you have just made regarding the source of financing for Mr. Trudeau. Is it not a fit case for Financial Action Task Force to investigate Canadian operations of terrorists which are widespread, and in particular, Mr. Trudeau's role in it. So I think the next step for us as a country and as people of that country to take is to approach Financial Action Task Force and ask them to investigate. You know, there are simple things which shock you. The Minister for Immigration and Citizenship says one day that Mr. Nijjar was given Canadian citizenship on 2015. Then one of his officers must have told him that, look, there was an Interpol alert before that, so we have to change that date. Next day, he tweets, sorry. I mean, he doesn't even say sorry. He says, oh, forget about that 2015 date. Actually, he was given citizenship in 2007. So they are misleading their own people, they are misleading the world, and they are confirming to people at large that, look, Canada cannot be trusted. But I must share one apprehension with you, which has been troubling me over the last few days, that we have over 200,000 young students in Canada. Now, if Trudeau keeps on inciting people, the right wing or the extremist elements, then they can be put to harm. And they have done nothing against Canada or Trudeau in particular or anyone in the world. So he is really upping the danger ante.
You make a fair point, Rajiv Dograji, but the fact is that these students are also perhaps a lifeline, or they bring in contribute a lot to the Canadian economy. Education is a big source to contribute to their GDP, so they can ill afford that because they are already bleeding themselves dry by trying to divert monies towards Ukraine. So that's one problem. The other interesting point that Tara Kartaji has also noted, and I'm going to bring that to your attention, to the panelists' attention as I go across to Wyatt Claypool before bringing in Ramneek Mann. She says that all these Khalitani activities have happened in the Five Eyes nations. So this entire Five Eyes grouping, most of the recent issues that are happening are in these nations itself. So is that a coincidence, or should we read a little more into it? Wyatt.
Well, the funny thing with Canada is it's kind of always tried to portray itself, especially under Justin Trudeau. Like, it was far better under Harper, but under Justin Trudeau, we're supposed to be the tolerant and nice country. We don't support bigotry of any kind. But Justin Trudeau has translated that into basically we let any sort of people from any sort of extremist group just hang out here and basically make this their base of operations. What I find really funny is just how people are sort of on the international stage finding out just now just how sort of duplicitous and weaselly Justin Trudeau is, in the sense that he's the type of guy in his own country, in Canada, who calls all of his political opponents racist, bigots, throws accusations at them that make no sense. He never substantiates it. And now he's finally being caught out when he goes and attacks an enemy like India, who will actually fight back hard and has the ability to be, counter message the liberals' lies. Where in Canada, usually they're going after singular individuals, ruining their lives. And I think this time with Modi and India, Justin Trudeau bit off way more than he can chew.
But is there more to it than meets the eye when an America turns around and says that India should investigate whatever credible reasons or credible allegations Canada raises or concerns Canada raises, while they stay quiet about an American citizen threatening Indo-Canadians on Canadian soil, Wyatt? What is Gurpat Panon? He's an American citizen. He's threatening Canadians.
Yeah, that was Mr. Nijjar's lawyer. And the thing with America backing up Canada, I don't think that they're really backing us up. I think they're throwing some token words out there because probably the Trudeau government has been just harassing them all day long, yesterday and today, to basically say that they should at least make some soft words saying, well, if there is evidence, India should investigate it. I don't doubt that within a week's time, if there was no evidence, America's just going to drop it and just to completely sideline Canada. And then, because again, America has far bigger issues than Justin Trudeau's paranoia about potential security breaches by the Indian government.
Well, we've got just news coming through, and then we'll go to Ramneek Mann after we take this interesting development that's happening. Our group editor, security, Manoj Gupta, telling us that intel sources are confirming that Pakistan ISI-supported group is allegedly backing Justin Trudeau. This group has announced a rally in favor of Trudeau, and this is in Surrey on Saturday. That's tomorrow. Rahat Rai, an individual allegedly close to the ISI, and he teams and with teams of Pakistani visiting him very, very often. He is and staying at his place. Now, this rally is organized at Surrey Central's SkyTrain station so that maximum people can join in. Sources have also said that a large number of people from outside Surrey are also expected to join. Sources are revealing that Trudeau is absolutely on the back foot right now at home and spreading rumors. And according to sources, Surrey ISI network currently is the strongest. So there's a lot of support that's being amped up by ISI and its proxies and encouraging Pakistani nationals or Canadian nationals of Pakistani origin to actually come there and try and put up a solidarity front with the Khalistanis. Ramnik Man, how do you see these developments?
Oh, well, good evening, Anand. This is very interesting, the news you just brought in. Trudeau gets support from Pakistan. Pakistan is a country even Hebatullah Akhundzad is not prepared to take support from. So they've gone down to the levels or beyond the levels of Afghanistan per se, diplomatically speaking. Now, when we talk about the incident at hand, it is strange that Trudeau had to make such wild and absurd allegations at a time when India is at its peak diplomacy. You know, we just concluded the G20, a very successful one actually. So, looking at the partners of Canada, let's say G7 nations, Japan, UK, USA, Germany, France, Italy, they're not standing by Trudeau today. The Five Eyes country, Australia, UK, US, New Zealand, the other four are not standing like, you know, the gentleman, Mr. Claywood just said, that it's just a token sort of a word that the US has put in. But then again, we need to realize what the Canadians have been up to all these years. They've been nurturing and they've been rearing these Khalistani snakes in their backyard. The WSO, World Sikh Organization, Khalistan Tiger Force, Khalistan Commando Force, Sikhs for Justice, Babar Khalsa International, the murderers, the wanted criminals, the gangsters and the designated terrorists, the jinke upar inam yafta mujrim, the ones who bear bounty on their head, have been, you know, given asylum in Canada. That is what Canada has been doing over these years, and the West has been toying with the idea of keeping the secessionist and separatist elements of various countries in their country. When Trudeau says that we are a country of democratic values, we have the rule of law, can you tell me who was punished for Kanishka bombing? Over 280 Canadians died in that bomb. No one was punished. Who killed Ripudaman Singh Malik? It was the ISI, because he actually was a former Khalistani who had aligned with India. Just days after he wrote a letter of appreciation for the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi, he was killed, brutally killed. Who killed Karima Baloch? It was the ISI. She was a Baloch activist.
Yes.
So, when they talk about freedom of speech, he stood by the farmers' protest in India and he said that, you know, the Indian farmers should get all the support. But when it came to truckers' protest, he brought in emergency measures in Canada, by the way, the whole of which are yet to be revoked. So Canada is literally still in the state of emergency.
Right.
This is how, you know, this man displays his hypocrisy. Now, going forward, India, as of today, is a vital nation for the West in Asia. There is no other country in Asia which can replace India. And Pakistan comes to the rescue. ISI comes to the rescue of Justin Trudeau. Is it not enough circumstantial evidence to prove that who has been behind these Khalistani elements and secessionist elements, the ones who try to break away India? They try to get in influencers like Rihanna, Mia Khalifa, and now Shubh. This is what they are trying to do, but they are failing badly. And Mr. Trudeau, like his father, is going to eventually fail and perish away. He's running a
Pierre Trudeau was the
government
Prime
with the elbows
Minister
of
when the
Khalistani.
Kanishk bombings happened and nobody was caught at that time. Ramnik Man, just quickly bringing some more information that we have and then we'll quick round of conversation before I have to wind up. CNN News18 has accessed a report which will expose Canada's hypocrisy. In 2018, public report on the terrorist threats to Canada, which was taken down in 2019 due to domestic pressures. Here's what that report said. it says some continue to support Sikh extremist ideologies, Khalistan ideology. It's a 2018 public report on terror threats. Some individuals support Sikh Khalistan movement. Then the next point that came out in that, 1985 Air India bombing is the deadliest plot launched in Canada. In Canada, two key Sikh organizations remain listed as terror entities. Babbar Khalsa and International Sikh Youth Federation associated with terror. These are the observations. Ramnik Man, you just made a reference, but this 2018 report was released when Justin Trudeau was Prime Minister.
Okay. Now I'll just briefly add to that. When the US comes out clear, and people in India who are opposed to the current dispensation in India and others who are against the government of India think of it as a victory. I would say when the US says that this should be investigated, yes, it should be investigated, and it should be investigated by the NIA. The NIA should land in Canada and should find out which all gangsters, murderers, thugs and designated terrorists are being shielded by the Canadian government, who are the drug cartels, the weapon cartels running in Canada, who have been behind the secessionist elements and the Khalistani elements. If they have to name the Canadian politicians from the Liberal Party or from the NDP, they should come out clear. Let Canada be transparent.
Before
let
all of that,
NIA go and investigate
before all of that, there is no police FIR. The cops don't even have the names of the suspects. Are you trying to say that your law and order system is so porous that gangsters, murderers, assassins can have a free run on Canadian soil and get away with it? That's the question. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I have to wind up on that note. With that, we call it a wrap on this edition of The Right Stand. Brass Tacks with Zaka right now. Stay with us.